Korean men are the most handsome in the world. No, they're not. They're the most identical. I know, because I used to be one of those handsome ones. I've stood on a stage, I had the camera 2 inches from my face, and I still wasn't good enough. I let them cut me open anyway. What Korean men did to themselves and why. The machine that builds those faces. The history behind it. And at the very end, I'll tell you what Korean men see in your face that they can't find in their own. Chapter 1. The Scar. You've been watching Korean dramas, and at some point you paused and thought something you didn't say out loud. Why do they all look the same? Same jawline, same nose, same eyes, same skin. You thought maybe you were being ignorant, maybe you just couldn't tell Korean faces apart, so you kept it to yourself. But you were right, you weren't being ignorant. You were seeing something real, something that most Korean men will never admit to you. I'll admit it. I was the guy on stage, I had the face. People told me I was good looking, not regular good looking. The kind where strangers stop you, the kind where you get used to it. I'm not bragging, I'm setting up the punchline. Because even that face wasn't enough. Someone in the industry sat me down and told me my nose needed work. Not because it was ugly, because it wasn't sharp enough. On camera, under certain lighting, it looked soft. Soft. That was the word they used. My nose was too soft for the industry. Think about that. A face that strangers stopped to look at, and someone in a suit looked at that same face and said it needs to be sharper. So I went to a clinic in Gangnam. I sat in a white chair. A doctor drew lines on my face with a blue marker while I stared at the ceiling. And I remember thinking, this is fine. Everyone does this. This is just maintenance, like getting a haircut. Except a haircut grows back. I walked out 2 weeks later with a sharper nose and a question I still can't answer. If I was already good looking enough to stop strangers on the street, then who was I not good enough for? The answer is the system. I was good enough for people. I was not good enough for the machine. And I let the machine win. Now imagine what that machine does to the guy who was never good looking to begin with. Chapter 2. The Machine. Here's how it works. In Korea, when you apply for a job, you submit a photo. Not a casual selfie. A studio portrait. Full face. Professional lighting. And the hiring manager looks at your face before they read a single line of your resume. 93% of Korean companies require this photo. And about a third of hiring managers have admitted they chose someone based on looks, even when their qualifications were weaker. You hear that? A third of them admitted it, which means the real number is worse. There's an old Korean belief called gwansang. The idea that your face decides your destiny. If your nose points down, you'll lose money. If your jaw is too wide, you'll never lead. If your eyes are too small, people assume you're hiding something. Sounds like superstition, right? It is. But half the country still believes it. And here's the part that will make you laugh and then stop laughing. Some companies still hire physiognomists to sit in on job interviews. Not to evaluate skills, to evaluate bone structure. You could have a perfect resume and lose the job to a guy with a better chin. Welcome to Korea. So what do you do if you're a 22-year-old man about to graduate and your face doesn't pass the test? You go to Gangnam. Not for the song, for the clinics, hundreds of them, stacked on top of each other in high rises like a mall for faces. You walk in, you sit down, they hand you a menu, an actual menu. Nose package, eye package, jaw package, combo deal, buy 2 get the 3rd at 30% off. I'm not joking. You're ordering a face like you're ordering lunch. I have a friend who graduated top of his class in engineering. Brilliant guy, sent out 40 applications, got 2 callbacks. His mother looked at him and said the problem is your face. She booked the clinic herself. He got the eyes done and the nose done. He got hired on his next interview. And nobody in the family thought that was strange. This didn't start yesterday. This started after the 1997 financial crisis. The IMF came in. Korea collapsed overnight. A whole generation of kids watched their fathers come home with empty hands and empty faces. And they learned one lesson. You are replaceable. If you're replaceable, then every edge matters. Your degree, your English test score, your internship, your face. Your face became a line on your resume, not a metaphor, a literal line, because the photo was stapled to the application. Then it got worse. Cosmetic surgery became a graduation gift. Parents would save up and hand their kid a clinic voucher along with the diploma. You sit in a consultation room. The doctor pulls up a screen. He shows you a grid of noses, like a Netflix menu but for body parts. You pick one, he picks a better one. You agree because he went to medical school and you're 19 and your mom is in the waiting room reading a magazine. She's not nervous. She did her own eyes 10 years ago. This is Tuesday for her. Think about what that graduation gift says. We're proud of you. We love you. And your face isn't ready for the world yet. Honestly, that might be the cruelest sentence a parent can deliver without raising their voice. Chapter 3. The Mirror. Okay, so here's where I need to turn this on you. And I say this with respect, but I need to say it. You're watching this video right now because of those faces. You clicked because something about those Korean men on your screen made you feel something. And every time you click, you vote. Every view tells the system that the template works, that the surgery was worth it, that the menu was right. I'm not blaming you. I'm telling you where you stand in this machine. You're not outside of it looking in. You're the customer, and the customer never thinks she's part of the problem. But she is. We all are. And before you think this is only about men, Korean women were here first. 1 in 5 Korean women has had cosmetic surgery. Among women in their 20s and 30s, that number is 1 in 3. But she didn't choose that either. She was given the same menu, the same mirror, the same message. Your face is not good enough. Fix it or fall behind. She's not your competition. She's the other patient in the waiting room. Here's the thing, nobody told you about getting your face redesigned. I'll tell you because I lived it. You don't feel more confident afterward. You feel more approved. And those are not the same thing. Confidence comes from inside. Approval comes from a committee you never asked to join. And once you let them edit you, once they own you. Because now you know your original face was a draft. And drafts can always be revised again. That's not a nose job. That's a leash. And I wore mine with a smile because everyone said I looked better. They say you look fresh. They say you look sharp. They say you look like you. But you don't look like you. You look like everyone else. And nobody notices because everyone else did the same thing. South Korea performs roughly 13 cosmetic procedures for every 1,000 people. Highest rate on earth. The market was worth over $2 billion in 2024. Projected to hit $12 billion by 2034. That's not a trend. That's an industry built on the idea that your original face is a mistake and business is booming. Chapter 4. The Crack. But something is starting to break. There's a generation of young Korean men who are quietly refusing, not with protests, not with hashtags, just by keeping their faces, walking past the clinics, keeping their white jaws, their flat noses, their single eyelids, and saying the most radical thing a Korean man can say in 2026. This is my face. I'm keeping it. I see them on the subway sometimes. Kids in their early 20s with natural faces. And you know what? They look different from each other, which sounds like nothing. But in Korea, looking different from each other is an act of rebellion. It means you chose yourself over the system. And the system does not forgive that. But don't romanticize it. The ads are still everywhere. The menus are still on the walls. The photo is still on the resume. The machine is not slowing down. These kids are fighting a $12 billion industry with nothing but their own faces. That's brave. But the system has crushed braver people than them. So why am I telling you this? Because when a Korean man looks at you, he's not comparing you to a template. He can't. You don't fit one. You never will. And that's not your weakness. That is the thing about you he cannot stop thinking about. You didn't grow up being told your face needed editing. You didn't sit in a white chair and let someone draw on you with a marker. You didn't get a clinic voucher for graduation. You showed up as yourself. The version you woke up with this morning. Unedited, unrevised, final draft. And for a man who spent his entire life being told that the original version is the broken one, a woman who shows up as her original version and doesn't flinch, that breaks something in him because you're carrying the one thing he threw away. And he knows it. Your age doesn't disqualify you. Your weight doesn't disqualify you. The lines on your face don't disqualify you. Those lines are proof that your face is real. And in a country full of men wearing faces they ordered from a menu, that's the rarest thing he's ever seen. Closing. So let me tell you now, what Korean men see in your face that they can find in their own. It's real, not beautiful, not perfect, not young, real. That word wrecks him. Because he looks in his mirror and he doesn't know which parts are his anymore. But he looks at you and every part of your face is yours. You earned it. You lived in it. You kept it. And he doesn't know what to do with that. Because the system told him the unedited version is the defective one. But when he's with you, he starts to wonder if maybe the system lied. Maybe the man in his mirror is the draft. And the woman sitting across from him is the finished version. Tell me in the comments, have you ever looked at a Korean drama and thought all the men look the same? Now that you know why, does it change the way you see them? Stay real. Because that's what I crave. This is Sibong Records. See you in the next video.